I've got a personal one for you today, a personal story from my own boring life. A few months ago now, I went for a plastic surgery consultation, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Okay, so first of all, I'm generally weirdly pretty satisfied with my body. I don't know if that's crazy, but and I don't even know where this came from because I have a long history of disordered eating and body dysmorphia and exercise addiction. That's back in my sort of misguided youth. Right around my mid 30s, I gave my head a shake and was like, wait, this isn't working for me. And I really leaned into learning how to support my body so it could feel great and I could drop the extra fat I had accumulated from my own prediabetes. And this is a big, big part of my health journey and why I do what I do. But truly, since then, and I'm in my late 40s now, I've never really looked back. And maybe it's also because I'm a tall, broad woman. I'm a tall broad. I'm a tall, broad. And I always have been. I've always been I was like the tallest kid in my class. I have never been a tiny little thing. Even when I was anorexic, I kind of just looked normal. I didn't look frighteningly thin because I have a big skeleton and I'm a tall woman and I'm strong. I love all this stuff about my body, by the way. I don't know if somebody might look at me and be horrified, or if you knew how much I weighed on the scale, you would die. Mercifully, that number doesn't mean anything, so thank goodness. But I've just gotten very content. And also, I think it's because of the way I live my life. And this is like major privilege, I guess, which is that I work at home. I work online. I don't have to put on hard pants to go to work, and I don't have to fashion it up ever. And I like fashion and I like style, but quite frankly, it's not really a part of my life. So my body has become really this unornamental thing. By that, I mean, I don't perceive it as something that has to look good. It looks fine. It's fine. It's pretty good. I would say it's like maybe slightly above average. I don't know. I don't know. I struggle to care. And if I may be so bold, I really wish we didn't care that much about how we looked. I truly believe this. And this is a message of mine, one of my many bratty messages that falls so flat, like lead balloon. I wish we didn't collectively care so much about how hot we were, because if we didn't care so much about how hot we were, we wouldn't be obsessed about constantly changing our bodies. So anyway, I offer that backstory. I'm generally content with how my body looks. I'm going through the menopause transition. I have noticed a little bit of a change in the shape of my body, and I'm just curiously exploring it. Like, oh, that's interesting. I never used to have that sort of like bloaty kind of look. Every now and then I have it, and it's like, oh, that's just interesting. And I also, by the way, am blindly optimistic about when I get through the menopause transition, when I'm done with it. It's like, oh, that'll be my time to shine. I'm not going to stress about it now when my body's in this absolute chaos. Why would I? Every single minute of every single day is hormonally a crapshoot. Why would I stress myself out about a body that's in the middle of changing? Like, it's changing, it's busy. Once it's done going through this change, I'll get it back. I'm going to be one of those badass 55-year-olds with a six pack, or maybe, I don't know. I just feel really optimistic. Crazy, but true. I feel very optimistic about going through the menopause transition. I'm going to support my body while I'm in it, with hormone therapy and doing all the beautiful diet and lifestyle stuff that we all know is important, and sleeping and stress management, and you get it. And it's like, once I'm out through this transition, I bet you I'll be great. So I'll just wait. Time's going to pass anyway. Why stress out and freak out about it? You know what I mean? Anyway, so I offer this ginormous preamble to let you know that I might have a bizarrely meh connection to the relative beautifulness of my body. I think it's fine. I have a fine body. It's not amazing by beauty standards. Nobody's coveting a body like mine. I'm not going to splash it on Instagram in a bikini photo shoot. That's not going to be me. But it's pretty fine. It's all right. There we go. Okay, but I went for a plastic surgery consult. That's why I wanted to give you that preamble. Like, okay, I'm generally okay with my body, but yet I had this consultation with a plastic surgeon. I want to talk about it. So the consultation I had was for a breast lift. And this is because one of the body changes I'm noticing as I go through the menopause transition is my cup size is increasing, and not in a cute way. Things up there are kind of getting a little, they're looking a little matronly, and I am used to having kind of an athletic shaped body. I just am kind of straight up and down. I'm a curveless creature. I don't lose any sleep over this. I think it's cute. I think it's fine. It works for me and what I like to do in my life and the fashion that I like. It's all good. But now I have these boobs, and it's like, oh, I don't know if I like those. No hate, no shade to boobs. If you got a nice pair, like, and you love them, I love that for you. I just want you to feel so content with the body you've got, like I do. But like, this doesn't feel like my body. It's like, oh, no, I'm supposed to be like a B cup girly. What's this all about? So I just want to kind of look the way I'm used to looking. That's all. So I went and booked a consultation with probably, I would say, maybe the most sought after plastic surgeon in my city. I live in a city that has a lot of wealthy people and a lot of women that were getting plastic surgery. So I went to go see this guy. I'm not going to say his name. It doesn't matter. I went to go see him, coveted plastic surgeon in the city. And you have to prepare yourself for that because you have to go in and take your top off. And then this man is going to like touch you and flop things around and pull on things and draw on you and give it to you straight. I went in and I said, I would like a breast reduction. I want them to be B cups because that's what I'm used to. I think they could be a little lifted as well. So that's what I want. And the plastic surgeon, first of all, pulls no punches when he comes to describing your body. Like, yeah, you're droopy. Yeah, you're pretty droopy. Definitely need these to be lifted. He said, I'd like to put a little implant in because I don't think you'll be happy with it if we just reduce. You'll want them to be bigger. And I said, no, I don't want them to be bigger. I want them to be smaller. That's why I'm here. And he said, well, let me show you some of the breast lifts and reductions I've done. And he showed me, he said, okay, this woman came in similar to you. This is what we gave her. We gave her a lift and a reduction. You can see they're very small. They're very perky. He said, this is her 6 months later. She came back and got these ginormous implants put in. And he showed me this to make a point. And his point was, women are never satisfied with their bodies. And he's freaking right. I'm going to speak more on that in a second. So we went back and forth on this for a while. And I said, I'm really not interested in an implant. I really don't want them to be bigger. I would like them to be smaller. I don't want an implant. I don't want anything implanted in my body. And again, this is just like your mileage may vary. I'm just a little sketched out by having anything implanted in my body. That's why I ran out of the room when they were about to implant the IUD a few years ago. I went to a menopause clinic, and this particular clinic is really fond of using the IUD for progesterone. And by the way, a lot of menopause professionals are pro IUD. Like, it sounds like it's kind of a really pretty standard procedure and the downsides are low. But I just freaked out about having something implanted in my body. I've never had a filling. I've never had a dental crown. I don't even know what these things are. Like, I'm very surgically boring. Never had any surgery of any kind. Anyway, I don't want an implant in my body of any kind. I do not. Yes, it might look better because the plastic surgeon said, if we just reduce, then the newly reduced breasts will then sag. And a reduced breast, a surgically altered breast that sags, looks a little weird. It gets this kind of like crescent moon shape, if you can imagine. I'm thinking to myself, well, whatever. Like, I'm basically 50 years old. By the time these things sag again, I'll be into my 60s. Who cares? Like, I'm not topless sunbathing out here. I don't need to have award-winning boobs. I just want them to be smaller. I want them to be the way I remember them, size-wise, in my clothes, quite frankly. I just want to look good in my clothes. Am I crazy? I'm not worried about looking good naked at all. Let's just be real. Ladies, if someone's seeing you naked, I think they're probably pretty happy about it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But I want to look good clothed. I'm in clothes most of the time. I'm dressed. I like clothes. I like a certain style of clothes, and they look better with a small breast. So anyway, I'm like, I don't really know if I care if my newly shrunken boobs sag again. Like, really, does it matter? I'm not trying to be a bikini model at age 65 over here. I just want to look like myself again. I think there's some loss of translation because honestly, this plastic surgeon is used to women coming in who want to tweak and finesse their body closer to perfection. He's in that business. He's in the business of women feeling dissatisfied with their bodies even after plastic surgery. And there's staggering statistics on this. I don't have them at the tip of my fingers, but I've looked into it. The disappointment rate post-plastic surgery is like this astonishingly high number. Women feel pretty good about the outcomes at first, and then as time goes on, they wish it was better. This is this guy's business model, and he's been at it for a long time. He's very prolific, very successful plastic surgeon. So I'm coming in saying, no, doctor, I don't want an implant. I don't want full round breasts. I want little tiny ones. And he's like, I don't think you do. Look at this gal. She said she wanted the same thing. And 6 months later, she came back. And then 6 months after that, she came back and got them filled even bigger because bigger is better. And he's trying to preemptively get me to just do the thing I'm probably going to do anyway. Like, you're probably going to want to come back and get an implant. So let's just do it all right up front. Also, he suggested I should get a little bit of liposuction, which I was like, oh, the little jelly roll under your armpit. He's like, we'll just take that out. By the way, he said that was breast tissue that kind of migrates. I think that was interesting. That really was an amazing reframe for me. I frankly don't lose sleep over my armpit blubber. I just don't. And here's a funny anecdote. A woman came up to me at the gym one time. I was teaching a fitness class. It was a very athletic fitness class, sort of a strong strength training class. And she was lifting great weights and she looked great and she's fit and she's strong and she's matching me rep for rep, weight for weight. We're like bonding over this workout, having a good time. She comes up to me afterwards. She says, I would love to pick your brain about how to get rid of this little blubber under my armpit. She kind of pinched the little blubber next to her sports bra straps and kind of looked down in disgust. Literally the only fat this woman had on her body. She looked amazing, older than me, in her probably mid-50s, one of these postmenopausal badasses, which I'm going to be as well. Just putting that out there, speaking that to the universe. She said, how do I lose this blubber around my armpits? And I looked down at my own armpits and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. You think I figured this out? I don't know. I said to her, well, you're a woman. And I mean, you're supposed to have some soft bits. So maybe it's okay if those are there. I don't know. Like, I'm really not the best person to gripe about a body part with, because I think you look great. I think I look great. I think we're really putting way too much pressure on ourselves to aspire to some beauty ideal that's absolutely unrealistic. And are we really going to lose sleep over the little pinchable roll of fat next to our bra strap? Now, other women have love handles, muffin tops, inner thighs they don't like, inside of the knees they don't like. We can find flaws. We are really good at obsessing about flaws on our body. But the conversation around, oh, here's my flaw, how can I solve this flaw, is one that I struggle to relate to. Okay, but let's come into the present moment here, which is I had a plastic surgery consult because there was a part of my body that I wasn't happy with, and it was my breasts that had grown as a consequence of the menopause transition. I haven't put on weight. I'm not gaining weight through menopause. I'm not getting fatter, which could happen. Like, breasts grow when you put on body fat, but breasts also grow when estrogen starts doing wild and crazy things. And my mom had enormous breasts. So I don't know, this is in my DNA somewhere potentially, but I don't like it. It's not my vibe, you know? Anyway, plastic surgeon said that the little armpit blubber is actually breast tissue that just kind of ends up there. I don't know how that happens. But he's like, we can just get rid of that. It'll look really nice. You'll like the way that looks. And I was like, you know what? I'll take it. I wouldn't mind not having it. I was suddenly getting convinced that maybe I could have a couple little add-ons, little bonus treatments. And there's some other parts of my body he thought I should get liposuction on as well. So this consultation with the plastic surgeon, very short, very abrupt. He just basically looks at you topless, starts poking and drawing things and pointing out flaws you didn't even realize you had, like your armpit blubber, for example. And then he said, okay, I'm going to have you meet with my nurse, the person who puts together the estimates, and then you can work on financing and book it in the calendar and we'll get it done. So I was chit-chatting with the nurse and she was great. She was beautiful, by the way. Oh my gosh. She's had so much plastic surgery. She looks amazing, like really good, really good. I'm like, damn, if this is the billboard for this place, then well done. Nicely played. But she was great. She said, the doctor thinks you should get an implant. I said, I really don't want one. She reiterated what he said about the weird way boobs will sag. And I reiterated what I was thinking, which is like, by the time that happens, I probably won't care. And she added in the price of the little armpit liposuction, and it was incredibly expensive. It was incredibly expensive. I mean, surprise, plastic surgery is expensive, in case you didn't know. I'm not doing it because I feel weird about surgically altering my body. As I mentioned earlier, I've never had surgery. I've never had an implant. I've never had an alteration. I'm kind of feeling like, why would I mess with that? I don't know. That sounds crazy. I know, like, really, truly to each their own. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with being surgically altered. Do you know what I mean? Like, from a values perspective, it's like, I don't really think there's anything wrong with it. But it's just sort of like, what a shame it would be for my unsurgically altered body to have surgery of any kind. Somehow I've made it to 48 years, almost 49 on this planet without having any surgery. It's like, I'm kind of like an anomaly here. Why would I volunteer and pay shit tons of money? I kind of want to ride it out, see what life is like as a non-surgically altered person. I don't know. Listen, this is not a fully baked perspective, but it's just one of the things. I don't think I care that much, quite honestly. Like, okay, so I can extrapolate my own argument. When the guy said, we should put an implant in so your boobs don't sag weirdly, and my rebuttal in my own head was, well, I don't really care about that. But I could take that rebuttal and say, well, if I don't care about that, then why do I care about what I got going on right now? Maybe I don't care. Actually, I don't really care. You know what? Actually, it's fine. Again, my body's fine. It's not amazing. It's not that bad. It's fine. And it always has been. And who knows, maybe when I become a postmenopausal baddie, I'll grow some giant pecs and get like super yoked and my boobs will shrink as a consequence of becoming a bodybuilder. I don't know. The point is I'm not going to do it. But The doctor said things to me like, yeah, you're droopy. You won't be satisfied with this. And he has kind of this air. He's a wealthy man who deals with wealthy people. So he's got kind of that wealthy, sort of snobby attitude that's a little off-putting. Oh, what did he also said to me? Oh my God, how did I almost forget this part? This is the most important part. He said to me as I'm standing there topless, he said, yeah, I hear that you want to have small breasts, but you're not exactly a tiny little thing. And he looked me up and down. You're not exactly a tiny little thing. No, I'm not. No. Nope. I I hope I didn't lead you to believe I wanted to become tiny somehow. I'm not here to have bone shaving surgery and have my skeleton rearranged. I get it. Like, I'm not here trying to be tiny, but it was really condescending the way he said that. Borderline triggering. If I hadn't done so much work over the last decade and a half of just being kind of like totally fine with my body shape and size, I could see that being very damaging. If like 38-year-old Aaron had come in for this consultation and he had said that, I don't know what would have happened. That could have set me back into like disordered eating patterns. I did not appreciate that comment. I didn't think it was necessary. And I was actually kind of offended. On one hand, it's like, no, I'm not tiny. I'm not pretending to be. On the other hand, it's like, try not to be too disgusted by the relative size of my body. I understand this doctor sees babes all day long, rich babes, just getting their bodies rearranged into amazingness all day long. That's his clientele. I understand that. And I understand that he's in the business of women really disliking their bodies, as am I, quite frankly. I'm in the same kind of industry. I'm women that don't like their bodies. Come work with me. I want you to like your body. I'm going to try my damnedest to make sure you don't judge yourself so harshly. His role in this body dysmorphia is completely different. He surgically fixes the flaws you think you have. That's his specific skill, and he gets paid handsomely to do it. And women will pay money. The amounts of money women will pay, I think I've shared this anecdote on Instagram before. I ran into somebody who I vaguely know. I was at the gym training with my personal trainer. Personal training is expensive, right? It's worth every penny. If you've never had a personal trainer, let this be your rally cry. Go get a personal trainer. You will show up and get stronger with a personal trainer than you ever will by yourself. I'm just telling you. And you'll have to pay money. And it's a good chunk of money, but it's absolutely worth every penny. So anyway, I've had personal trainers off and on for years and years. It's always worth it for me. But this woman said to me, how do you like working with your trainer? And I said, oh, I love working with her. She really pushes me harder than I would ever push myself. And I'm getting so strong and I'm really loving it. And this woman said to me, that's awesome. I thought about working with a trainer, but instead I took all that money and got plastic surgery instead. Fair ball. Okay. Yeah. She took, call it the $8,000 a year you might spend on personal training and over the course of 3 or 4 or 5 years and put it all in plastic surgery and got everything done. And she's like, no, I look pretty good. Now, personal trainers are not just there to make you look good. I want to get stronger. I want to be a badass. So that's why I train. Obviously, there's a physical outcome, aesthetic outcome of getting stronger. You might get more toned, which is a made up word. It means just muscle definition as a consequence of getting stronger and training your muscles. But like plastic surgery is this, I want to fix this now paradigm. It's not like personal training because personal training is, I want my body to be better and I'm going to put in a ton of elbow grease with the help of this personal trainer to get my body the way I want it, strength-wise and maybe aesthetically as well. Plastic surgeon is, I need this fixed like yesterday, open the wallet, let's go. That's his business, right? So for him to say something to me like, well, you're not exactly a tiny little thing and you're not going to be satisfied with this and we should put an implant in because you're not going to like the way it looks. And him telling me things about my body, I was feeling very annoyed. It's like, can you just back up? I was feeling offended, and I was offended for a long time. I was very put off, actually, this plastic surgeon. His affect was just, I didn't like it, but I get it now. Women are constantly dissatisfied with their bodies, and that's his whole business. He's like, I'm going to cut you open and do all this tinkering, sew you back up, send you on your way with your compression garments, and you're going to be back in this damn office in 18 months to get something else done. Let's just do it now. Let's just put it all on the table. Here's all the flaws you have. He was really cataloging all my flaws, even the ones I didn't come in there to talk about. But he basically has to at this point because he knows you're going to come back. He knows once you get the boobs done, you're going to wish your waist was thinner. And then once your waist is thinner, you're going to wish your hips didn't have a hip dip. And you're going to wish your butt was bigger. And you're going to wish your inner thighs were leaner. And you're going to wish, and you're going to wish, and you're going to wish your armpit flab wasn't there. And you're going to think your neck is sagging. And then you're going to think you need an eye lift. And he gets it. Women are perpetually dissatisfied with their bodies. So let's just handle it all now, do the best we can, get you under the knife. One time we'll do it all, get you done so that you can have a hope in hell of being content in your body. And so that's why he approached me at this consultation with sort of like, the energy was, I know you think the only flaw you have is these floppy boobs, but actually there's 10 other things we should tackle. And I was feeling really put off by that, but now I get it. It's just true. He's in the business of women dissatisfied with their bodies who want the quick, dramatic change. I am in the same business. And where this plastic surgeon, has the skills and abilities to make a quick change. If you don't like your inner thighs, we can suck those out and you'll be thin thigh Thelma in a few weeks' time once you recover. The work I do with women who are dissatisfied with their body is way less dramatic. I don't offer a dramatic outcome. In fact, I'm trying to talk you off the ledge of dramatic outcomes. It's healthy, it's nourishing, it's a supportive way to lose fat. Methodically, I will never take a woman down beyond her essential fatness. So I'm not here to shred somebody down to abs or whatever. Like, that's not what I do. I'll help you with the extra fat that feels stuck on your body. That just takes a long time because it's like a whole ass metabolic process, and fat loss is just simply a slow biochemical process. So my job is exhausting in some ways to remind women, look, this doesn't happen quickly unless you go to the doctor and get it sucked out with a vacuum. You can do that. That's available to you. It's going to cost you a shit ton of money. And there's a high chance, because it's so quick. Here's what I think. Because plastic surgery, the outcome is so quick, it plays major games with our mind. I didn't have to do anything except open my wallet, and now my thighs are thinner, my waist is thinner, my boobs look cuter. I want more. It's a little bit intoxicating and addictive. And it's like, I went from being a 4 out of 10 to a 6. How could I get to a 7? How can I get to an 8? Open the wallet, open the wallet, open the wallet, go under the knife, go under the knife, go under the knife. Because it's so quick and because it's so low effort, you have to recover from surgery. I don't think that's nothing. I have no idea because I've never had surgery, but like, I don't think recovering from surgery is pleasant. You tell me. I don't know. I'm brand new here. I think that's one of the reasons why plastic surgery ends up being such a dissatisfied clientele. Because this was so quick, I want more. Now, my clients, when they achieve fat loss, it's been months or years in some cases. They sort of chipped away at it in a methodical way. While we were handling the fat loss, we were also handling the mental piece of like, I really wish this would go faster. And my whole job is to talk women off the ledge and say, it just won't go faster. It's just not a fast process. So please, please, please just patiently hang with your body while it goes through this biochemical process. So it's exhausting, quite honestly. The way I have to deal with women is exhausting because everybody wants the instant gratification. Everybody wants the plastic surgery outcome, but we don't necessarily want to go under the knife or pay the money or run the risk of being dissatisfied. So we're doing this instead, which is definitely a healthier way of changing your body shape and size. A sensible fat loss approach of some kind. So I mentor my clients through the ups and downs emotionally of wishing it could go faster. The plastic surgeon front loads the whole conversation in the consultation. He's like, you're going to hate your body unless we do this, 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 and this, and this. I know you thought you only wanted this one thing, but here's the 10 things you really want. I'm just giving it to you straight. Let's just get it done because I know you're going to be back in my office in 6 months wanting another procedure and we just got to get this handled. So I get it. I was feeling offended in the moment, the way he was talking about my body and the way he was pointing out things that I thought were fine because I think my body's fine, as I mentioned. I left that room feeling less fine about my body. I was like, oh my God, I'm a disgusting monster. I'm over it now because I've done this sort of thinking. Like he had to say that to me because this is every day of his life. His job, he has to deal with women who come in and just talk absolute shit about their bodies and want him to fix it ASAP. And he's gotten to the point probably where he himself is desensitized and therefore comes across as insensitive. But I don't think he is insensitive. I think he's just highly realistic. I see that now. He was right. He's right. I'm a woman. I probably hate 20 things about my body. I showed up at the consultation with this one thing. But because I'm a woman, I probably hate everything. No, I don't, but he doesn't know that. He sees me, a woman, and just says, in my experience, women want more perfection, and they're never going to hit perfection enough. And I go back to the statistics on dissatisfaction after major plastic surgery procedures, which I have to pull those statistics up because it would be really useful in this conversation. But hey, guess what? This isn't a science podcast, okay? This is gals talking. Okay, we're just gals having a gab. But maybe you know somebody who's had a boob job or a facelift. I know people who've had eye lifts and neck lifts and boob jobs and liposuction and skin resurfacing and you name it, right? And they want more and they want more. And they still look in the mirror and it doesn't look quite the way they were hoping it would look. And I think because as soon as you step into the realm of an extreme body modification type procedure like that, now you've just stepped into the realm of dramatic quick fix change. And I don't know how our brains are supposed to interpret that versus the long, slow, very undramatic, arduous process of actual fat loss through a sustainable, slow, easy, gentle, kind, nourishing weight loss method, which takes ages, but your brain at least can catch up with you. Your brain is at least marching along that continuum with you. It's not like you wake up from anesthesia and suddenly you're hot and you have to adapt to like how good I look now. And then once your brain is like, okay, good, I look good now. Wait, what's that? Back you go to the plastic surgeon because now we're just chasing a perfection that we didn't think was available to us, but we're closer to it now. All we had to do was shell out $70,000 or whatever. That's not how much my boob lift was going to cost. I want to say the price tag on it for the reduction and lift and the armpit flab sucking with no implant, it was something like $17,000 or $18,000. I'm not paying that. Are you kidding me? No. But do you know how much personal training I can get for that? See? Flipping the script over here. Your mileage may totally vary. You might say, oh, that's a great price. I'm going to stop paying my personal trainer. I'm going to stop paying my nutritionist. I'm going to stop paying my functional medicine doctor. Just go get some plastic surgery so I can feel a little bit more happy with my body. But the thing is, I just don't think you will. I don't know. I'm out of my league here. I've never had plastic surgery. I'm not going to get plastic surgery. I've had one consultation in my life. That's my entire foray into the whole thing. And I bet you there's lots of people listening to this who have had plastic surgery and are delighted with the outcomes. But I just think that maybe is the exception. And maybe specifically at certain age ranges. Like if you went and got your boobs done when you were in your 20s and they still look great and you're really happy with them, then you're like, I had my boobs done in my 20s and I never regretted it for a day. Cool. But maybe once you're getting later in life and you're like, oh my God, I need to improve this stuff that's fallen and getting it put back up into place. I could see that being a major mind F for a woman whose body is just trying to naturally age, to just really quickly rewind the clock on that. And then your brain has to catch up with that somehow. And I feel like the plastic surgeon knows that. He was really trying to manage my expectations. I also think he thought I looked disgusting. That's really the impression that I got. He thought I was an ogre. It really seemed like he was gross. And then I think too, this is my other little conspiratorial thinking. Do they teach that in plastic surgery school? Like, do they say, okay, we're going to teach you the art of the consultation. When a woman comes in, no matter how fine she looks, make her feel disgusting because then she'll be powerless. She will whip out all the credit cards. I can see that. If it wasn't for the fact that I walked into that surgery consult feeling pretty okay about my body, like it's just fine, it's just okay. I need to reiterate that. I just need you to know that it's just okay, just in case you see me in person and you're like, her body's not that great. No, it's just okay. I said that literally, okay? But I wonder if they teach that though. Like maybe there is some psychology he was spinning on me, right? Maybe he was trying to make me feel a little grosser than I thought I should feel, so that I would get the procedure so he would make the sale. I don't know. That feels a little conspiratorial. I don't believe that. Like, I'm not the kind of person who assumes all doctors are shady and everyone's out there trying to make a buck. He's a professional that has a certain set of skills and deals with a certain personality trait, the dissatisfied woman. I'm sure men go and get plastic surgery too, but I think it's mostly women, right? I mean, mostly us, right? Because men will have a giant beer belly and look in the mirror and be like, yeah, dad bod, I still look good. I love that for men, by the way. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? So I just imagine like men aren't a big target audience of plastic surgery. I don't know. Why am I telling you this story? I just wanted to share a little personal story from my life as it pertains to some of the stuff that I talk about with women. Body dissatisfaction is a major scourge that we're all navigating on some level. And I am too. I mean, I did in my teens, 20s, and early 30s when I was severely anorexic, exercise addicted, trying to get my body to be the right shape, the right size, the right fitness. I was very obsessed with being the fittest looking person that anybody knew. It was really important to me for some reason. Not anymore at all. And then for me to have body dissatisfaction rear up again as part of my menopause transition, like, oh, I don't like how my chest is looking. That's kind of gross. Ew. I'm glad I'm in a better headspace. I'm grateful to myself for doing the work on my own brain and addressing my reflection in the mirror and saying, you know what, kid, you're doing pretty good. Okay. Love you. Instead of talking absolute shit about myself and feeling the worst, most negative, brutal possible feelings about my amazing human body, I'm really glad I've done that work, because if I hadn't, then I would be so broke and I'd be so surgically altered at this point, just from trying to get the fix, never being satisfied. There's something really interesting. And I think maybe like the message here is, I know this message is going to sound batshit crazy, and you might not like it. And I welcome you to not like it. In fact, if you don't like it, if it makes you feel a certain kind of way, DM me on Instagram, Eat Simple Erin. Email me, contact@eatsimple.ca. I want to hear from you if this message falls flat with you, because I think it might. I think we need to manage our expectations on how hot we can be. I think most of us are very ordinary humans. We're not Kardashians. We're not Nicole Kidman, Demi Moores. We can't afford the deep plane facelift. Plus, we can't take the time off work like they can. And so we see these women, Jennifer Lopez, oh yeah, aging naturally. Give me a break, Gwen Stefani, I'm looking at you. It's not happening. They're not gua shaing their way. It's not because they're not drinking alcohol. It's not because they're drinking a lot of water. They're undergoing elaborate, expensive plastic surgery and skin resurfacing treatments that you probably can't afford. And you can't get that much time off work, quite frankly. You and me, we're normies. We're regular women. Are we supposed to be in the top 99th percentile of beautifulness? No, that's not for us. This is the perspective I think I might lose people on. We're not supposed to be that hot. We're normal humans with normal ass genetics and normal ass jobs and normal ass paychecks. We don't really have it available to us to do what it takes to turn ourselves in to Demi Moore at age 60 whatever, who looks the exact same as she did in her 30s. That's absolute insanity, but that's what we're presented with. And so it's possible. Oh, it's possible though. Not for you, I don't think it is. I don't know, unless you've got lots of money sitting around somewhere. It's a managing of expectations. What did we think was going to happen? I have this conversation with my friends we're all aging. We're all in our 50s now, basically. I'm rounding up. I'm 48. I round up. I am a chronic rounder-upper of my own age. But like, I'm basically 50. I have lots of different groups of friends. They're all my age or older. And it's like, oh, my knees are saggy. Oh, my skin is pre-jowling on my face. Oh, my eyelids are getting droopy. My arms are crepey. I have wrinkly hands. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? What did you think was going to happen? Obviously, we're getting crepey skin. Obviously, we're losing facial volume as we age. Obviously. Oh, by the way, just in the off chance that you, like me, a Gen X woman, exercise the hell out of yourself in the name of being completely fat-free. Like, this is the thing for me. This is a little parenthetical. Did we really think our cardio bunny ways and starvation and salads and Diet Coke in the 90s and 2000s wasn't going to catch up with us when we started aging? We've obliterated all the body fat from under our skin. Yeah, no shit, your face is sagging. You were battling your body fat for your whole life. Now you wish you had it. Now we go in and get fillers put in, right? Now we gotta go get the deep plane facelift and all the Sculptra collagen goodness to get our cheeks back, right? It's crazy to me. It's like, what did we think was going to happen? Of course we're aging. Of course our skin is changing. Of course my boobs grew. I'm not immune to this either. I'm having this real talk with myself. I'm a normal woman. I'm a normal woman living a normal life. I don't need to look like 99th percentile of hotness. There's no benefit to that. There's no utility there. Like, let's just be realistic about who we are on this planet. You got way more going for you than the beautifulness of your exterior. You've got other things to do besides be hot. And like, how hot do we think we're going to get? I get that we want to look a little more like the way we recognize ourselves. Well, I want to look like me. That's why I wanted to go for this plastic surgery consult. I don't recognize myself with C-cup boobs. That's why I went for this plastic surgery consult. I don't recognize myself with, this current chest I've got going on. And I want to look like myself. I get that. But I also think there's an element, and I had to come to this myself, of like, well, this is what I look like now. And that's okay. Of course, bodies change. What did I think was going to happen? Quite honestly, I didn't think this was going to happen. I expect wrinkles. I expect jowls. I expect a sagging neck. I expect wrinkly hands. I'm ready. I'm ready for my wrinkly knees or my crepey shins. I'm ready for age spots. I'm ready for gray hair, maybe. I know it's happening. It's like, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But I wasn't really ready for a growing bra size. That was a surprise to me. It's like, oh, ew. So whatever, extrapolate accordingly. But really and truly, what are we going for here? What's our end game? This is where I think Instagram and other social feeds has become really problematic, because you see exceptionally beautiful people and it makes you think that we're all supposed to be exceptionally beautiful. And it's like, well, if that person that you saw wasn't exceptionally beautiful, their algorithm wouldn't have served you that post. You would have gone your whole life not knowing that there's an exceptionally beautiful 60-year-old out there, because you probably wouldn't run into one in your day-to-day life. If we weren't constantly exposed to images of airbrushed and surgeried images of women, which we are now exposed to on a constant basis, you would probably go your whole regular normal person life never running into somebody who's had a facelift. But yet if you open up and start following celebrities, there's facelifts happening everywhere. It almost seems normalized because we see it more often than we normally would. It's kind of like you would never meet a billionaire in your real life. There's no chance that in your life, a regular life, that you would actually encounter a billionaire. But I probably encounter 3 to 6 billionaires on my social feed every day, making me think that it's available to me to be a billionaire. I don't know. I guess it is. But you know what I mean? Like, we really do have this bizarre funhouse mirror sense of what's available to us because only beautiful, successful images are presented to us lately. There's a lot to unpack here. This is a completely unscripted riff, if you couldn't tell. I think the moral of the story is in the realm of managing your expectations. What you think you're supposed to look like is heavily influenced by a beauty ideal that you've been made so abnormally aware of because of our information era that we live in, where you can see people, see facelifts, see billionaires, you know what I mean? Like, you're seeing more beautiful people than you would in a normal lifetime. Your mom didn't see this many facelifts. Up until recently, we were only exposed to the circles of women that we actually knew or were adjacent to in our small little normal person worlds. But now we're exposed to fabulous, wealthy, altered women, altered beauty states, and we now think that's normal. It's absolutely not normal. It's just been normalized through our exposure. And so this is the come to Jesus I had to have when I was feeling insulted by the plastic surgeon. I was like, actually, plastic surgeon, I look fine. And I do. But I don't compared to what he knows I think I'm supposed to look like. I think I'm supposed to look like Demi Moore. That's what he thinks I want. That's what he thinks we all want at this point. He gets it. All these ladies come in here wanting to look like Nicole Kidman, J-Lo. I get it. And so we have to recognize that that's why we feel this way about our bodies. We are reaching for a beauty ideal that is so far outside of regular, normal, appropriate, available to us. And the sooner we recognize that, the sooner we can liberate and rise above that absolute shit talking that we do about our imperfections. Because in the context of a normal woman, our imperfections are not that dramatic. In the context of a very pronounced beauty ideal, we all feel like ogres. And just so that you know, if you go for a plastic surgery consult, they might make you feel like an ogre. But that's the business they're in. The business of managing your expectations, your outsized expectations about how beautiful you're actually able to be and supposed to be and need to be and want to be. So let's just be real about that. Let's just talk real about it and maybe do a little reprogramming. That's what I did when I had my plastic surgery consult. It really helped me to see that what I've got going on is perfectly great. Perfectly great.